Today, we're discussing the topic of showing up powerfully, showing up in a confident way. How do you show up in a confident way if you don't actually feel confident? Well, there is a trick to it. And let me tell you a little bit about my past experience and how I manage this. So for those of you that don't know, or even, not familiar with the DISC personalities, it's totally fine. I'm actually an ISC, but my I and my S, so I is outgoing. So anything in the D and I quadrant is outgoing. My I is only 2 points higher than my S, and I also have a very high C quadrant. So believe it or not, I'm actually a double dose of reserved, but I just have 2 points higher on the outgoing quadrant. So it allows me to lean into this. But let me tell you, my life was not always super outgoing. I may occur that way because I do a lot of videos, but I prepare for that. And my younger self was really quite nervous to go out and be like on stage. I really wanted to be, but I was so shy. Like I was quite shy and quite conservative. And so getting there was really a challenge for me. But after I was like 28 when I finally decided, okay, I'm going to do, well, I was 21 when I first decided I'm going to be an actor. And I went and, did some headshots and went and auditioned for a couple of things. And it just wasn't going well. And I was like, I need a real job because it is hard work. Let me tell you that is the truth. But after about like 10 years of that, so, well, I guess 8, I had wanted to do it for some time, but at 28, I made the decision, okay, I'm actually going to go back to school. And I went back to university at 28 to take a theater degree, which seems fairly useless, right? It's like, really, that's what you're going to get a degree in? But those 4 years actually helped me build a lot of confidence. But here's another trick that you need to know. You don't need 4 years of theater school to to be confident and to look confident. So let me tell you a little story. During that time, I actually took a Second City course down in Toronto. Yeah, Second City. So it was like improv. Improv is really, really tough. It is not for the faint of heart. And thank goodness there's a class for it because you have to do a lot of practice. But then at the end of your, session, your 3 months or whatever it is, you get to put on a live show and invite all your friends at the side stage where there's a bar and people come and drink and watch you. And it is like no joke, right? It's hardcore. You have to it's improv. You get prompts and everything as you make it up on the spot. So no joke. But one of the things we practiced, and this was a game changer, and I will never forget the lesson I learned for life in the moment. So I was, the group is full of all different types of ages and people. So, but I happened to be older in this group, and there was this young, good-looking guy, and the instructor paired me up with him. And the scenario was this. I was a partner at a law firm, and I was going to take on this young guy as the intern. And this was the interview. And it was like, and go. But the game was actually called status. And so she said, okay, Jennifer, we're going to start with you. You hold the status. And so she says, when I yell switch, the status is going to shift to this young guy, this intern. And it was a remarkable lesson because in the moment, as I was the lawyer interviewing this guy, tell me about who you are and why you think you should be an intern here. Status shift, right? Shift. And then I had to be less. Oh, so I'm really excited that you came. What made you pick us here? Shift. We have an exceptional office full of the highest, paid lawyers in the country, and we do a lot of great work. Shift. And I just really, I'm really happy that you're here. Okay, so that's just a really bad and small example, but I hope it amplifies the point. The idea of status is literally in your mind. It is literally how you walk into the space. And if you walk in feeling like you don't really deserve to be here and you're not really sure of anything, that is how you come across. So part of the way in which you become confident and show up powerfully and confidently is actually, if you need to, listing what you know you're crushing it at. What do I crush it? Where can nobody beat me? And what do I know for sure? And those are ways that you can powerfully step into how you show up in any scenario. So, whether it's I know how to read people really, really well, or I know accounting really, really well. I know the law around this, and nobody can beat me on that. Whatever it is for you, I bake the best cupcakes ever, and I can tell you exactly how to do it in 3 seconds flat. Whatever your gift is, whatever your knowledge base is, you are probably naturally confident in that, and so you don't need to have that booster there. But if you are walking into scenarios or situations or conversations where you're feeling unsure, take a moment and really just take stock of what is it. If you have to make a list, make a list. What is it that you are sure that you're sure of? And you can walk confidently knowing that. And sometimes it isn't always like top of mind. So if you need to make a list for yourself and go back to that, please do. But remember that exercise, the game of status. People that walk into a space, some people just walk through space like they know they own it because they feel that way, and it's a decision. And you can too feel that way. You can choose and decide to walk into a space with confidence. It's actually just a choice. So that is the takeaway today. Whenever you're feeling like, we're not walking into rooms right now, we're not doing live networking, but you can confidently do so when you're, virtually networking. Walk into the space, and if you're having trouble kind of feeling like should I be here? Call status to your own brain. Status, shift, change, whatever it is, and stand powerfully in what you need to know, because you know that you know it, you just may not know that you know it, right? So that's the big takeaway for today. Shift that status literally into confidence and just show up confidently. That is the big secret. Nobody's really any more confident than you. Nobody has any more brains than you. Nobody's better at you than you. So show up and be you, and that is how you stand in your confidence. So even if you're quiet and reserved, you can still hold that power. Lions don't go around roaring all day long. They don't need to tell people. They just show up powerfully. Now, if you go after them, not likely, but they will take you down in one swoop or in a chase or in one bite, right? You don't need to be roaring all the time in order to be powerful. Thanks, Bernice, right? I know, I love that. Whereas there's this, I did a little GIF, or not a GIF, just a graphic of this monkey. It's called a golden lion something kind of monkey. And he looks like a lion, and I put them side by side. A lion's just walking, but the monkey's like, I'm a lion. No, you don't need to scream that you're a lion. Lions don't roar. I mean, they roar when they need to. And it's very, very rare. They're just going through life confidently. So that's the takeaway for today. And write your comments below. If you're feeling like, oh, confidence isn't my thing, think about how you can actually walk through the space and show up confidently. It's really just a choice. So I'd love to hear your feedback. Do you think that's crazy? Like, come on, you can't just be like, oh, just be confident. But go back and consider that game of status. It's really just a choice, and you can choose to be confident and walk into the space like that, or you can choose to feel like you don't fit in, not like that, right? Don't be like that. Shoulders up, shoulders back, chest out, and that's how you nail being confident. All right, have a great rest of the day. Type your comments below, and we'll check back soon. Take care.